Hello everyone, today's video is going to be how I tweeze and fill in my eyebrows. I hope you enjoy it. So starting off with tweezing, these are tweezers by, I believe it's e.l.f. Cosmetics, but I do kind of rotate tweezers because I'm always losing them. But e.l.f. Cosmetics has one that comes with their eyelashes kit, and I really like that. So I start off by just tweezing the stray hairs kind of in the brow bone area and anywhere where there's obviously stray hairs, and I just tweeze those and clean up that area. Also, normally I'd probably be using my other hand to hold the skin taut, but since I was trying to get this on camera, I'm only using one hand, so that's why it looks a little awkward. Then I go in with this Real Techniques brush. I absolutely love this little brush, and I'm gonna brush all my hairs up so that I can see the long ones that need to be trimmed. So I'm just kind of brushing them all in that upward direction that you can see. This is also a nice step because it gets rid of any loose hairs that need to come out, and also it gets all of the hairs going in the same direction. Now I am trimming the extra long hairs. These are just eyebrow trimming scissors. I got them at Walgreens, and I just kind of line it up, and really, like I said, just the extra length on there I trim off. Then I'm just brushing them out again to kind of see how they look, and then I'm going to go ahead and brush them down and do the same thing with the hairs that are longer on the bottom. And I'm just trimming off the ends. If you're new to doing this, I would definitely recommend starting with less and kind of working your way up. Like, don't trim a whole bunch of hair at once, but really once you get used to it, it's not that scary. And this step really just helps my hairs be less unruly and less wild. It really keeps them, once I fill them in and set them, it helps to keep them looking just a little bit more groomed. And I would say I do my tweezing and stuff for my eyebrows about once a week, but the trimming I would say maybe every other week I do. Now I'm just brushing everything out to kind of see the general shape, and then I'm going to go in with a facial razor, and I get these at Target. You can get them at Walgreens. Sometimes I order them on Amazon, and I always use a new one every time I shave my face or my brows. So I go in between the unibrow area, I'm going up above as you can see, and I'm really not shaving a lot. I'm just getting the little hairs. I'm kind of using this as a touch-up. That's why I go in and tweeze first, because I prefer to have them tweezed, but there's some hairs that you just can't get with the tweezers, so then I go in and shave. And it's also really nice for shaping the brows to make a really nice straight line on top and that kind of thing. So I do like to do this step, definitely. And this would be a step that I would do more frequently, more like once a week, because when you shave, rather than tweezing, the hairs do grow back faster. So you have to upkeep it a little bit more. Also, you want to make sure you're keeping the razor at about a 45-degree angle towards your skin. You don't want it directly perpendicular or directly parallel, if you know what I mean. You want it kind of at that angle that you can see. And I've never cut myself. I've never hurt myself with this, but definitely be careful and make sure your skin is well moisturized before you do this as well. And I actually do use these razors to shave my whole face. If you want to see a video on that, let me know. And now I'm going to tweeze the inner part of my brows there. I had to do that up close, so I had to get off camera. And now I'm just touching it up with the razor. And again, I really like how the razor can make that sort of straight, pretty line on the brows. So it's less work that I have to do when I fill them in because it already has that pretty shape. Then I'm just combing everything out to make sure that I like the way they look. My eyebrows are not even at all. They say your eyebrows are sisters, not twins, and mine are more like cousins, but I'm okay with that. But I'm just making sure that everything is done, and then I'm going to go put on foundation and be back. So now I have my foundation on. Usually after that is when I fill in my brows. So I'm taking a spoolie here. This one's by Sonia Kashuk, and I am just kind of combing it all out in the general shape that I want. And I tend to comb the hairs up and out towards my ear. That's kind of the natural direction that the hair goes, and I just like to get them all kind of going in the same direction. I also find it a little bit more flattering when the hairs go up and out. I feel like it brightens the eye and opens it up a little bit more, if that makes sense. And it's time to start filling them in. So I'm using my e.l.f. Lock On Liner and Brow Cream and my Arbonne Angled Eyebrow Brush, and I just start filling them in. So I start at that spot where you can see me, not at the very front of the brows. I like to start where the hair is already dark and really fill in the sparse areas first before I go and do the front of the brow. or the end of the brow. I don't know all the terminology. Is there a name for that part of the brow? I'm not sure. But you can see I'm just kind of filling in the sparse areas first. And then when I do go to the end of the brow there, the front of the brow, I go with not very much product on the brush at all. I kind of have used up all the product on the other part of the brow, and I just start very, very lightly because it's so easy to go overboard on that part of the brow, and then your eye look just is too harsh, your eyebrows look too fake. So I'm very careful to just start very lightly on that area and build it up gradually. Then I just focus on the bottom area of the brow, fill that in, make sure, again, that I'm filling in any sparse areas and really making kind of a smooth line on the bottom there. And then at the tail of the brow, I fill it in again, and that's really where my hairs are kind of thinner, so I make sure to kind of get everything filled in and looking opaque, if you will. But I don't want it to be too dark or too fake or anything like that. So most of my effort goes into that first half of the brow. You can see the front of the brow, and then that space right behind the front of the brow is where I put the most effort into filling in. And I just fill the tail in a little bit, and I feel like that gives it a good natural look. Like it's not super filled in, it's not super fake, but it still looks put together and nice and complete. So you can see I really don't do a lot of shaping with the brow color. I do most of the shaping with the tools before I fill them in, and then filling them in is just to kind of define the shape and fill in the sparse areas. That's just what works for me. Then I'm just going to set them with a clear brow gel. This one is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And rather than shaping them or pulling the spoolie through the hairs, I stamp it into the hairs. As you can see, I'm just pushing the spoolie like straight into the hairs. That way I don't mess up the shape that I've already created, and the product gets in there and helps them set in place. And there you have it. There is my completed brow tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!